Good day, Minecraftians. Purple Mentat here, bringing you episode 6 of Agrarian Skies Season 2. So, as promised, between last time and this time, I got myself the initial start of what I'm going to be using for monsters this time around. And it's not much to look at right now. All I have is a big old bridge to nowhere, leading out to a dark room that is 10 by 10 on the inside. Lots and lots of monsters in there. And I'm going to handle them manually at first, just to get past these first couple of quests. Then I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. The ultimate plan, however, is going to be to automate this whole system today. And I have a couple of ideas that I've gotten from some of the video responses and such that have been directed my way to do so. I've also upgraded my stone barrel, as this was filling up, is now almost empty thanks to building all of that, and my cobblestone barrel, as this is beyond what the initial upgrade could handle. If you want to know how to make the upgrades, just search up Java. You'll need the structural Mark II to install, and you'll need more storage upgrades. And I believe that I've shown those in an earlier episode this season. So, what am I going to be doing to clear out all of those mobs manually? Well, I'm going to start with a steel scythe. And to make a scythe, you're going to need to use your tool forge. There is a scythe option right there. You need your scythe head, you need 2 tough rods, and you need a tough binding. And that gives me a scythe that will do only plus 5 damage, so around 3 hearts, but it will hit an AoE in front of me. Or actually all around me, I believe. For example, if I use the scythe on these leaves, well, hang on, let me use the lumber axe first to take out the... There we go. And then if I use the scythe on the leaves, it will clear out a whole area all at once. And it'll hit about that same area when I'm attacking monsters, which will make it fantastic for clearing out everything in my little spawn area. Now, the other issue that I'm running into, which I learned with my little manual spawner last time, I want something to stop me from falling off. And I like cobblestone walls for that. I mean, they're not the prettiest thing in the world, but they're basically free. And, hang on, I'm going to run over here because food is no longer an issue. They're basically free, and they're just really easy to make. So they do a very good job of stopping you from accidentally falling off because they are, much like a fence, 1.5 blocks high. And when used en masse like this, they don't look terrible. It's a very old school, out on the Shire kind of feel to it. So what I've created for myself is a little area where I can... Oh, one important thing. While I was building this, late at night last night, I got tired. And I kind of maybe dozed off a little and accidentally ran off the side of this. So, if I take a look at deaths, I've died 3 times, once to the void. And I lost my pickaxe. Made myself a new one with a steel head, wood binding, wood tool rod. It's pretty nice, but so far still clumsy. Now, if I break that 1 block right there, and I sneak in with my scythe, whack a bunch of people, whack some more, already it is leveling, because the scythe will level stupid fast using it like this. Still some creepers in there. And I unfortunately did not get any Enderman spawn. Okay. But now, it's fairly safe to break that and get in there. Take you out. There we go. And I did all that without armor. It wasn't even an issue. So, there we have it. Now, if I check my inventory, I have plenty of bones and rotten flesh. And I have also, in learning to skyblock, completed kill 3 zombies. So I'll take that reward, as it will be able to reset in 18 hours in game. And I'll hand in Mary had a butcher shop. I think I took the right hand flask last time. We'll take the left hand. See what happens. Got regen. Nope, I must have taken the left hand last time. Oh well. Greater reward bag is kind of nice. The beauty of being on a server. People can sleep when I am not there. Today, I'm on the server with Embos, Kaz17, and Albion. Oh, you know what? There's Albion. I better let him know that I am recording and keep it somewhat clean. Blocks. Okay. So, that gets me past the initial issue. However, I don't have any ender pearls out of that, and I'm not getting a whole lot of goodies naturally. What I'm going to do is upgrade that whole little manual system to something a lot less manual. Alright, let me get what I need together for that after I open this reward bag, actually. Got to create a reward bag. Inside I find longest lifespan serum. That's actually pretty nice. Pretty happy about that. I'm going to be using that because once I get... it's an extra bees serum. You know what? I am going to be using that because last season I skipped extra bees entirely. This time I'm going to use it. Okay, so I'm going to get what I need together for continuing on with that monster spawner build. Back soon. Alright folks, on the path to automating the mob grinder, the very first thing that we are going to build is going to be a machinist's workbench because I want a better crafting solution. And it's a rather simple recipe using a crafting table, chest, 4 tin, 2 copper, and a bit of paper. So, the great thing about the machinist's workbench is it has a chest built into it. Ooh, sorry about that noise, my phone is not on silent. And then the thunder and lightning is coming from one of my server mates who is doing a lot of blood magic elemental killing. So we're going to put our ingots and redstone and even our glass into there because it will make life easier in the long run. Fantastic. There we go. So, now, the other great thing about the machinist workbench is you can use blueprints with it. I believe they're called they're called schematics. Blueprints was the red power one. I don't have the blue dye. Well, I mean, I do have a bunch of lapis, don't I? So, you know what? Yeah, let's make a schematic for some of the most common things that we're going to be using. Specifically, do I have anything else I want to bring over there right now? No, I do not. Specifically, the one that comes to mind that I'm really going to want is going to be the machine block, because I'm going to be using a lot of those. So to use a schematic, you just put it in the side there. And if I were to take, you know, my aluminum and my glass and my gold and make a machine block recipe, I could then write that to this schematic. Now that is the machine frame. And if I want to clear the crafting grid, I can do so just like that. If I want to put it back, I can click on this schematic and click Set Crafting Grid from Schematic. It's also possible, for example, if I were to look up a chest, to fill this crafting grid from NEI, and then if I put in anything that can, well, for example, if I look up the chest, it's all kinds of all over the place. It's using a bunch of different woods, but they're or dictionary to plank wood. So if I fill that in with all those different planks, and I throw in something that or dictionaries with plank wood, it'll use these. And you'll notice that it's not actually using the items until after I grab the chest out. Then it uses them from the inventory down here. It's a really fantastic item, a really fantastic crafting bench block, and I'm really, really happy with it. So, autonomous activator. I don't actually need the machine frame for that, but I do need a piston, and I'm using aluminum to make my pistons as well. So I'm going to teach, oops, what do I need? I need cobble. I have cobble in my inventory. There we go. So we're going to teach the machinist workbench to also make pistons for me. And later on, I'll probably end up having a bit of a fleet of these machinist workbenches that'll have machine frame components in one, piston components in another. The ability to just run through and grab what I need really quickly will be kind of nice. I'm actually not making an autonomous activator. I don't know why I had that looked up. I do have the materials for it. I had my gravel running from last time, and now I have 8 diamonds and 5 emeralds, so I could make 2 more autonomous activators right now, but they're not what I need for this build, so I'm going to be making those off camera. What I actually need is an aqueous accumulator, and do I even have the aluminum? Yes, I do. So I'm going to make myself a bucket, and I need a machine frame, which I don't have that much aluminum on me. Don't know what happened to it. Hang on. Oh, you know what? I used it to make the... Oh, no, I didn't. Anyway, I'm just going to grab all of my metals, and I'm going to keep them in that block for the time being, and condense them down out of block form into ingot form. There we go. And that way I'll have all of my goodies in the same place, except my ferrous. There's no point in hanging on to the ferrous in there. Ferrous is not super useful on its own. It does very little until it is turned into Invar. So there we have it, folks. Now I have plenty of materials, though I'm running very low on iron. I need to actually process some stuff again. All right, so that accumulator needed, that bucket needs pneumatic servo. That's one that I should really teach it to make. I'm going to keep using silver for the servos. You can use bronze, you can use Invar, you can use aluminum, you can use steel, but silver just doesn't have an awful lot of uses in the pack to begin with. I mean, it makes the transmission coils for dynamos, it makes the servos, and tesseracts, fertilizer, unifier, just not a ton of direct uses for silver already. So it's going to be, well, besides making, that alloy electrum again. So it's going to be my primary pneumatic servo metal. There we go. And you know what? I feel like this machine frame and servo are more important to me than the machine frame and piston right now. So we're going to do that. And I can make another guy when I need to. And then I just clear the grid, set crafting grid from there, grab a machine frame, put one of my buckets in there, and poof, I have an aqueous accumulator. Just that fast. Really, really love the machinist's workbench. Huh, swear I needed another bucket. Oh, you know what? I think I made an extra because I didn't notice I had 2 in my inventory. Don't know what I was running into there. Bit of derpiness. That's okay. Having 2 buckets to go with me, actually kind of useful. Now, the other thing that I'm going to want besides the aqueous accumulator is I am making myself some... Hang on here. And this is a block that I've had recommended to use in my mob farm over and over again. The water geyser from Mariculture. That's why I had a bucket. So, I have myself the iron construction block here, which is just some iron ingots and some glass panes, which I assume you guys know how to make glass panes, as it's a Minecraft vanilla recipe. And other than that, it's just redstone, block of glass, and some water. And there we go. And that makes 16 geysers. And it returns the bucket. So basically you get your 16 geysers for the cost of 4 iron and a bit of redstone. Very, very cheap. This is what they look like. You can place them, basically they always face horizontally, I believe. Like you can't place it, oh, you can place it facing straight up. It's just rather difficult to do so. And now it's causing all kinds of derpiness. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. There we go. And once you have them placed, you should be able to rotate them with the hammer. Yes, you can rotate them with the crescent hammer. They can go on any one of the 6 block faces. So we're going to get out there. Going to have to kill everything in there again. All right, here we go again. Nice. Lifesteal. And repair. Yeah, this site is doing pretty good now. Uh-oh. Accidentally dropped it. I got scared by a creeper. Alright, time to go in there. Ow. That was almost bad. Creeper blown up in my face with no armor on. I was wearing my armor when I accidentally went off the void earlier. Okay, so... what do we need to do here? Well, for one, I need to build down just a little bit. We're actually going to put... I need a layer below, right there. I'm going to use my favorite water ladder style of building down. Oh, you know what? I don't have any building materials on me. That's a mistake. Here, we're going to light this up briefly so I don't have to do that again when I come back. Bump, bump. We're actually going to check my quest book because I think... Yep, I can hand in kill zombies again. Fantastic. Infinite lives available every 4 days in-game, which is about 1 hour and 20 minutes. And it's based on the server time, not how long you're logged in. Also, I did complete the Getting Rubbery quest, which required me to create plastic sheets and reward 6 rubber saplings. So all of that rubber farming that I did on stream, and when I eventually got those rubber trees, very, very useful as it progressed to quests that I knew I was going to need anyway. Okay, so I need to get myself some building materials. And also, as long as I'm at it, let's grab... You know what? I am not as prepared as I thought I was. I will be right back. Okay, now that I am properly prepared, we are of course going to be using Invar spikes to craft these, which need Invar swords, and which need sticks. I said I was prepared, and I have been made a liar because all of my sticks are not where I left them. That's okay. Need a stack of sticks in there anyway. There we go. 1, 2, 3 Invar swords. Need an Invar block. Well, actually, I just can do that. And I need to get that other sword in there, and... it is not cooperating well with this idea. It does not seem to like me crafting that. Hang on, let me do this in a regular crafting grid. It's a little odd. I've never had a regular crafting grid work out better than the other one. Here we go. 4 Invar spikes. Fantastic. And this is what we're going to be using the vacuum hopper for. Alright, so I actually need to get both of these filled, and 1 bucket of water is already over there. Bam. Now, I'm expecting that this is actually going to be a ridiculously effective monster spawner. Just basing it on the videos that I have had linked to me so far, and my own research, this should be a little crazy. And, in fact, I don't want you there. That can be solid. I'm going to want my little hole over here. And yes, I could just as easily build up a little bit more than down, but, you know, what's life without a little bit of danger? Alright. Eat. There we go. Okay. Try not to die. That's all I need. Just that 1 block there. Watch the flow. There we go. Boom. And now I can scoop that water back up. Here we are. Fantastic. This is going to be our dropping off point. And the reason I want it to be a little 2x2 like that is because the geysers have a range of 8. So if I have my geyser there and it pushes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, monsters will be deposited out here. You know what? The geysers have a range of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. So with them, this being a 2x2 in the corner, and this area being exactly 10, when I break down these walls and replace them with fluid ducts, everything works out fine. Well, actually, with the geysers go right there. You'll see this whole thing in action in just a moment, but it's going to take a little bit of building first to make happen. So, put a water geyser there and there. We want them on the bottom so that they will affect the spiders. And we want them in the wall because I want to be able to have it cover... Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to need it to be 1 forward from there, aren't I? Yes. Okay. Join me as we do a little bit of iterative building here. Here we are. There. Function. Because these take up very little actual space, so yeah. We're going to want it like that. And I will block this because right now, even if I clear out that torch, I hit F7, clear out more torches, hit F7 again. You can see that the light coming in is going to be an issue unless I do something about it, especially since I'm planning to have an entire line of geysers down this side. Awesome. And the real beauty of this whole thing is that this 1 aqueous accumulator that I have brought with me is going to be able to keep all of these geysers flowing. I'm not 100% certain I have quite enough fluid ducts with me, though. I'll have to go outside and find out. I think I do if I run it through here. Perfect. Exactly enough. Fantastic. All right, and I'm going to replace the edge stone so that everything's nice and dark on the inside. And I'm going to get my torch down. The reason this is going to this exact chunk edge is because this is the this edge of my buildable area. I am allowed 5 chunks from the center of my base. So a 5 chunk radius, giving me a total space of 11 chunks by 11 chunks. So tons of room to build with, and I'm going to do some fun things with it. I want to kind of use all of it this time through. I want to make a much larger island than I did last time. All right, now, for right here, I want to get this aqueous accumulator installed. And to do so, I'm going to actually mark that off. Put down that bit of stone. The accumulator is going to go right here, facing this way, so that it's already outputting to the geysers. And the 2 buckets of water are going to go right next to it, so that it will eventually fill up. As you can see, it is generating the buckets worth of water each time, and the geysers are flowing. They're kind of pulsing a bit right now. That should stop. In fact, I'm going to wish I had a redstone signal on me. That's okay. We'll grab up the accumulator for the moment. Or actually, we'll put it down and we'll shut off that output for the time being. Let it fill up all of the way and let the geysers drain, because I'm not quite 100% done inside of here. So as you can see, the geysers, I don't want to jump in there myself because I will die on the Invar spikes, but they will push everything that spawns into the spikes. Yeah, and here, I can show you that if I clear out the wall. As you can see, everything is getting pushed, will get pushed right past that edge and onto the spikes themselves. Now, I'm going to need to get my vacuum hopper probably right about here. It's going to be the best place for it. And that'll suck all of the items in. And I'm going to want to keep this nice and dark on the inside. Wow, those geysers go forever, even with the little bit of water that the accumulator put out already. So you can see the thing's full. It's not outputting any more water. These things barely use any water at all. And they push things fast. Like, watch this bit of edged brick get pushed. Zoom. Already there. Yeah. So this is going to be a ridiculously efficient mob spawner, I believe. Now, to collect the drops, I'm not going to want to just leave the vacuum hopper there. I'm going to want to have something a little bit more potent for collecting them. That will be able to hold a little bit more than that. And unfortunately, I don't have a good way of blacking that out. And still maintaining the... Oh, thank you, vacuum hopper, for collecting my torch for me. And still being able to see out here. Kind of like the idea of having my torches on the wall, though. So, I might move those out from the middle. I don't like torches, like, in the middle of the ground. I think it looks fugly. So, one possible idea would be to run an item duct from the vacuum hopper all the way over here. Set the chest right there. And, oh, and I want to cover up the top of this thing so that no light is getting on the inside. From that, at least. So yeah, I think I like the idea of, well, these walls are not actually solid. So I'm going to need to break these 2 at least. There we go. Recollect my goodies from the vacuum hopper. And we'll run a nice item duct going that way. Let me go get some item ducts and a chest to do that with. And immediately when I leave, things are going to start spawning and dying in there because that room is dark most of the time. And the geyser beams passing over the top of it won't actually stop the mobs from spawning, which is fantastic. I'm just going to grab this copper chest that I already have for now. That will do a pretty good job. I'm going to be upgrading my storage systems and such in the future, but for right now, I'm pretty satisfied with just what I have. Alright, so I have 10 item ducts. That'll be more than enough. And I'm actually going to want to bring a pneumatic servo with me just to save on the space. Really love that machinist workbench. Got to get more of those built. Okay. So let's run back over there. And now we have a fully functioning automated mob spawner. Well, we will have a fully functioning automated mob spawner soon as I get back and finish off the collection area. Kind of surprised that nothing has spawned inside yet. Anyway, let's run. So I'm going to want to right-click the vacuum hopper, open it. Oh, there you go. See? Already I have things waiting for me. So I'm going to run this line of item duct all the way over to here. Stick the chest at the end. And I'm going to need to set you to output and power you with the pneumatic servo. Set that to ignored. And items will slowly get pulled out of the vacuum hopper by the servo, pardon me, and placed into the chest. Fantastically awesome. And that should be enough of a baffle to stop any issues with light. And let's see if I take a look from here. Yep, everything's red over there. Awesome. Oh, no. That was a little close. Those geysers are not friendly for walking on, so be a little careful. Don't accidentally die to your own mob trap, because that's something that only a Derptat would do. Alright, so that aqueous accumulator is going to fill up all of the pipes, and once the pipes have more than enough in them, they will just sit there full all the time. And now my mob spawner is complete. I don't need to do anything other than that. I come back every now and then and collect the drops that come out of it. Awesome. Alright, let's go get some chests done while we let that process for a while. Chests. Let's go get some quests done while we let that process for a while. Specifically, I'm going to hand in the Getting Rubber request to collect my rubber saplings, half a heart, and the left-hand reward bag. And that gets me a good bag containing some cultivated princesses. That will speed my life along once I get into bees, which should be happening fairly soon. I want to tackle all of the other quests a lot sooner than I did in the last playthrough. I want to make sure that that cobble is producing forever and ever and ever. Okay. So, get the bees put away for now. Take my juicer back. Thank you very much. Oh, and that half a heart can go away. I did eat one heart because I lost one when I died. And we'll combine what I have into full hearts. And yes, I'm saving these for a reason. And if you look around the comments of my videos, you will get spoiled on what that reason is. But I'm not going to tell you in the video. However, I'm also tired of trying to delete the comments, so people please try to at least include some form of spoiler warning. Like, all you need to do is put spoiler and then, like, hold enter for 20 lines so that you have to expand the comment to see. Yeah, that would be nice. Thanks a lot. Okay, we're not going to the nether yet because I'm not prepared yet, and so what we're going to do is cultivate the harvest. Oh, actually, no, maybe we're not. Hang on, let me double check a couple of things. Alright, in fact, we are almost out of time, so what we're going to do is real quick we're going to complete the fluid storage quest. And to do fluid storage, I need a default portable tank instead of the better one that I built the first time. I need to make myself the tank from mariculture and from open blocks. The mariculture one requires planks, copper, and glass, and you get 2 fluid tanks out of it that hold 16 buckets each, and the open blocks tank requires 4 obsidian. Ooh, I don't have that obsidian right now. I do have glass panes waiting in here. However, I do have a couple of potential easy ways to get obsidian. I can either grab buckets of lava out of my perpetual crucible. You'll notice that I only have the one. If I'm lucky, I will only ever need the one. And I can take that over and I can put it in my igneous extruder and I can make some obsidian that way. That's kind of on the slow side. There's a much faster method. If you grab yourself some stone, everything's a mess over here. I need to get a proper tree farm set up. You can make yourself a stone barrel, which I've shown you in a previous episode, but just in case you missed it. You can make yourself some stone barrels. There we go. There we go. I'm going to set those down right like that. Not like that. Hang on. Put these there and there. Grab myself some of the border stone because that stuff I can break with impunity. Alright. Trying not to fall to my death. always a challenge for me. Fantastic. Do I have anything else I can... Yeah, I can toss down some gravel to get up there. Good. That'll work for now. This is just a very temporary thing to show you guys what I'm on about. So, you take your lava, you stuff it in a stone barrel, and you grab yourself a bucket of water. We'll collect these two. Well, these three, actually, because I forgot to reset it. We'll get that on the way back through. Collect a bucket of water, stick it right here, and watch it turn both into obsidian. And this is fantastic because it's fast. I can put another bucket of lava in there, and it almost instantly becomes obsidian. Now, of course, that process can and will in the future be automated, because it goes a lot faster than relying on an igneous extruder for obsidian production. Excuse me as I stutter and stammer and sound like I have no idea what I'm talking about. Alright, so there we go. That should be that first quest complete. Gets a full heart, and Magnesium Dust, if I remember correctly, is actually slightly annoying to get your hands on. Yeah, you need to either use flux droplets or quicklime in a vat with water to get your Magnesium Dust, which is just frustrating. Flux droplets you need to use fish breeding to get your hands on, and I don't believe any of these are super early fish. Maybe the tetra. Yeah, the tetra is a brand new fish, but if you want a lot of them, you need the electric ray, which is a whole long quest, whole long breeding chain to get to. Mariculture fish breeding is annoying. So I'm going to take that magnesium dust because it's also used to create molten magnesium, which is then used in a vat with impure molten titanium to purify titanium. And I know for a fact that there is a titanium quest. And I already got a lucky stack of the stuff from a reward bag. We'll just add on to that. Just take my zombie brain out of there. That is not going to actually be where I put things. And this was a basic reward bag, which rewards a plain old regular wooden fishing rod. Or no, this is an MFR explosive fishing rod. It's a single-use dynamite on a piece of string. Alright, so that's going to wrap us up for episode 6. We now have an automated monster spawner. Let's go check out what it was able to do in the 10 or 15 minutes that I was away from it before we sign off. I got to get some haste boots or something if I'm going to be building this far apart. Yeah, I've got a skeleton head, couple creeper heads, bunch of rotten flesh, zombie brain, spider eye. Yeah, it's doing pretty good considering it hasn't even been running 20 minutes yet. I'm very happy with the way the Geyser and Invar spikes are working out because it's a really small format and relatively server friendly from what I understand. I believe the Geysers, well, at least from what I've heard of the way Josh codes, he tends to make things server friendly. So we'll see though. All right. Between episodes, I'm going to tear this down. I'm not going to rebuild a better obsidian generator at the moment. What I am going to be preparing for next time, though, is to work on some power and, well, I mean, you obviously need power. We're going to work on some power, we're going to cultivate the harvest, and we're going to get into powered processing because it is time to move past the days of doing everything manually, and it's time to build some machine minions to do it all for me. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please leave a like in the down below. If you have not, leave a dislike and tell me what I can do better. And I will see you next time.